Gabby Sosa, welcome to Now We Sip Champagne. And what are we sipping on today, babe?
Champagne.
Champagne. Well, I happen to have a couple of bottles chilled here on ice for you. So what would you like? What would you
We're going to go with Moet.
Okay, very nice. Today we're slipping on our Moët. So please, cheers.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Gabby Sosa, welcome to Now We Sip Champagne. Cheers. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, it is honestly, I am so excited to see you. I haven't seen you since May. It is now, we're almost on October.
Yep.
And let's have a sip here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And obviously I need to tell everyone how we met. The infamous 40 for 40, and anyone that's been kind of like following along on, my life or my page, they know about 40 for 40. And I picked all these places. I turned 40 in May. I had signed the deal at Champagne Problems in October of 2023. I went into an insane demo. I was working 2 years straight. I hadn't gone anywhere, hadn't done anything. All these new places had opened, and I obviously bookmarked all the places I wanted to go, but never got a chance to. And so finally, I was like, this is it. This is what I want to do when I turn 40. The things that I love are the people that I love, and I love food and drink. This is what I'm passionate about. So I made my little map, and I took my days, and I started to make reservations, and I rented a Sprinter van, and we had 8 of us in total, and I had told the crew, I was like, guys, we're going to go to these places. I made reservations. Some of these places you can only get a reservation for 4. You can only get a reservation for 6, sometimes only for 2. I said, sometimes you're going to have to sit in the Sprinter van. You can't join every single time. And they were like, okay. And then sure enough, every place we went to, every single one of them was like, we want to go. And I'm like, guys, it's like your kids. You're like, I don't know, guys. You might have to stay in the car. So we went to these places. So I had a reservation for 6 at Clemente. I had the reservation for 6, but we did have that 8. We showed up, and pre-shift was happening, which was my favorite. One of my best friends, Frankie, was like, look, it's pre-shift. I'm like, I love pre-shift. Everyone was listening for the day, and I want to say her name was Grace. I was the hostess at the front.
Yeah, it could be.
It was
Grace,
potentially her name was Grace, but I said, we have this reservation for 6, and we're actually 8, and I know that that's last minute. It's also a Friday. I know how reservations work. If there's no way, I said, we'll also be willing to be split up. If you could put 2 of us here, 4 of us here, 1 of us in the kitchen, whatever you can do, we will take what you can give us. And she was so kind. And everyone that knows me, they know that I talk about the host. We know that they have all that power, and they have that power, and they can choose to go either way with it. Yep. We all know those hosts that can be like, no, we don't even care that you exist. We don't care that you have a reservation. We don't and then there's a host that she could have easily said no. 100% she could have easily said no. There's no way she needed to make any sort of accommodations for our group. It could have easily been a hard no. And we experienced that on this 40 for 40. And she handled it with grace. She handled it with grace. Grace handled it with grace. And she kind of, went and she did. And she said, well, we have 2 seats at the bar, and we'll be able to seat your party of 5, or I think maybe I had the reservation 5, your party of 6 at the table for 5, and then 2 at the bar. And I was like, oh my God, that's perfect. And one of my best friends, Rachel, she's actually a professional pastry chef. And with my best friends, some of these places they wanted to go to more than others, kind of some of them cared less, like some of the bakeries I went to, right. Some of my foodies wanted to go versus, and so Rachel, worked at the London. She's worked for Ransby. She's very familiar with just chefs of the world. And so Clemente was definitely on her list. I took the 2 seats at the bar, and then the rest of the group sat behind us at the party for 6. And it was Nicole, who was our bartender. Yeah. And we had, honestly, and we, after the 40 for 40, we all said, which one was your favorite? Which one did you like the most or what? And Clemente was honestly probably the top of most people's lists. And it was just because of the experience we had. So we sat down. Nicole was there. We ordered the drinks. Amazing. Then we ordered the food. Amazing. And then we were visited by the manager there, you. And you came over, and you were just so amazing. So, the hospitality that we received from you. Not only did you take care of us, you were so kind, and you had known about UES and you had made a mention, but you took care of, it was also Frank, my best friend. It was his birthday. We were both born on May 8th. And even though, I turned 40 this year, so it was like my turn to shine because he turned 40 a couple years prior, but you took care of us, and then you took care of the entire table, and you sent out limoncello, and I can't remember the last time I was treated so well. And you stuck out in my mind. I thought about you all the time, and I said, wow, she is the epitome of hospitality. She embodies everything and why so many people are passionate about this industry. And I always, I say to my own staff, people, they come out, they want that experience. We all learned after the pandemic, you can eat at home, you can drink at home, you can do all these things at home. But what you can't do is feel that energy and feel that beauty from another human being, that human connection. And you honestly made my birthday. And so I've thought about you since then. And so that's why I was so excited when, I told you back then, I'm going to launch this podcast. It's for hospitality. It's for the people that really, we love it, right? We love it. It's a frustrating, maddening business sometimes, but we do it because we love it. And you have to do something that you love, otherwise it comes through that you don't. So I will say, on behalf of the group, thank you so much for making that, 3-day, 40-venue adventure excursion. You stood out at the very top. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell me, give me all the goods, because we know you're not there anymore. You're not there. We'll get to where you're at now. But you were at Clemente. So tell us about Daniel Humm. Tell us about Clemente. Tell us about, when you started there. Just tell us about your journey there.
Yeah, of course. So, my journey at Clemente, it's kind of a 3-part series, if you can say. And when I first joined Daniel Humm Hospitality, or Make It Nice, formerly Make It Nice, was back in 2018 when I joined the NoMad. So I always had my eye on Make It Nice or Union Square Hospitality Group. And then when I was making my choices, the NoMad kind of stood out for me because at that time, Will Gadara was there. So I was a huge fan of his and chef also. Mm-hmm. So I remember I was just sitting down at the NoMad lobby, just waiting to get interviewed. And I saw chef in his white coats walk through in front of me. And I was like, okay, that's a sign.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah.
So I was super nervous. Back then, the NoMad was one of the best places to work at. Mm-hmm. And it was also one of those places that will tell you, okay, yes, you're hired as a server, but you have to start as a runner, as a kitchen server.
Right.
And at the time, I was really involved in, the beverage world. So I really wanted to be part of, their bar team. And they were super honest. They were like, just to be a bar back here, it's a year wait list.
Wow.
Just to be a bar back. And I was like, okay. That's fine.
Yeah, put me on.
I'm okay with that.
I'm always okay with that.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
So sorry.
Yep.
I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. And it's like, are you okay? We're just waiting. I was like, if I'm going to learn, I'm okay with waiting.
Yeah.
If I'm just wasting my time and not learning anything, then maybe not. And I was fascinated. The moment that I went there, by the pre-shift, how intense they were, how everybody was so passionate in that circle. Mm-hmm. Not one person was not passionate about either hospitality, food, or drinks. I came with a different mindset. I was like, okay, I have a lot of experience. What is this place going to teach me? And the first day, I was just like, okay, yep, I'm going to take everything back. I feel like I don't know anything. And I was like, okay, I need to work here. And I started as a kitchen server there. So I loved it. I love the intensity of it. And it's just getting to know, the people there. They all were pursuing to be great. And that, fueled me a lot, I feel like so many times we go to work, and a lot of the times, a lot of people that don't feel that the restaurant is a career, they're just okay, it's just a paycheck. For me, it was more than that. They promoted me to barista, to assistant server. But, I was getting that itch of I'm not doing what I want to do. So my year mark came, and then they kind of gave me a bunch of options at the NoMad. They were like, okay, we have an opening at the bar, which you've been waiting for. Mm-hmm. We also think you'll be amazing server here. So you can always go that direction. And I was like, yeah, that sounds great and all. But I was like, I think I would love to like trail at 11 Madison Park. And they were like, what?
Yeah.
And I was talking to one of my managers there, and he knew that I was very ambitious. And 11 Madison Park was always like my dream.
Wow.
Especially like on the places that I used to work before. Now I'm going to do a little backstory. When I was 18, I started working at cigar bars in the city. So I worked at Merchants for about 2 years. And then I worked at Club Macanudo for like 5 years.
Oh, shit.
So all I knew from like 18 to like I was 25 was like the cigar world.
Wow.
You know?
This is why we love each other so much, babe. We need cigars in here. What's happening?
Right? What are we doing?
Oh, my gosh. Now I know. A fellow cigar babe. Hello.
I know. Yeah. So I was smoking quite a lot around that time, but I was loving it. You know, like Club Macanudo was amazing. You know, I went out of my way to like really learn about single malt and all the things that my guests drank, you know,
Right.
and like a lot of the times, like my coworkers would be like, why are you doing all this? It's like, what do you mean why? It's like, I don't want to lie to them or pretend that I know about this like $50 pour they're about to spend. I want to like be able to help them
To
choose.
speak that language, absolutely.
You know, like, yes, it might not be maybe the greatest thing for my pocket, but I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, so like I always found a way to get out of like, or do my own research and like really, really connect with the guests. Because at the end of the day, the most beautiful things for me when you're bartending or serving, bartending especially, is that you get to have that connection with anyone that walks in. It might be only 30 minutes, it might be 2 hours. But if I'm going to spend time with you for 2 hours, we got to talk about something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
And I'm not going to bullshit my way around it.
No, you can't. No. Especially not in New York.
Oh, no.
No one's going to sit across for bullshit for 2 hours.
Oh,
no way.
100%.
They'll leave. They'll go somewhere else. Yeah.
But, you know, I had, my GM was extremely crazy. So
I'm familiar.
I went through a lot of mental abuse with him. He was like one of the persons that was like, oh, if you're not working here, you wouldn't be anything, you know, like without me.
Oh.
You know, kind of
No, I'm
like,
not into that kind of crazy.
Kind of like
I like to yell like when things are not
no.
perfectly clean and the caddies are not full and like, you know, but I'm not into that type of
He was psycho.
Yeah.
But you know, I was young and I was like, okay, I don't know. I'm just gonna keep working and doing my best, even though this man is absolutely insane. But, you know, like, having 5 years of, like, that kind of, like, talk with your leader, it was, like, very, like, challenging. But I, like, never really, like, let that bother me as much. You know, I had, like, a lot of talks with my mom, and I was like, oh, my God, I didn't know what to do. It's like, should I just leave?
Some toxic bullshit. Babe.
Oh, yeah, he was very toxic, toxic. And it was really great money, so I stayed.
Yeah.
You know?
Damn.
You know, so
I'm from Vegas, and I worked in clubs my whole life, so, like, I'm familiar.
You know, so, like, I stayed for, those 5 years, even though they were pretty brutal on, like, my mental health. But long story short, I kind of always had that little voice of him saying, like, I couldn't do it. And then I left New York for about a year. I had a really bad heartbreak. So I wanted to get out of New York. My mom lives in Florida, so I was like, okay, I'm going to go and live with her. Maybe that will be my new start. Long story short, I hated Florida. It made me miss New York so much.
Yes.
Every single show I will watch, and it was like New York City. I was like, oh my God, I wish I could be home. I lasted maybe 9 months in Florida, and I looked at my mom, and I was like, I love you, Mom.
Not for me.
And so I came back home, and now I have no home. Thank God for my friends, because they were, like, super kind and let me, like, crash into their apartment.
Yeah. Couch surf a little.
I was going to come back to Club Macanudo.
Wow.
I know. Crazy. The day that I was, like, doing the paperwork, again, I had to talk with the GM, and he said some snarky shit. And I was like, yep, no. I'm
not going back to this shit.
I am not doing this.
Yeah.
And I literally just put the pen down, and I was like, I'm not doing this. I am not doing this. And he's like, what? And he's like, yep, no.
Fuck it.
No. Bye.
Good for you.
I was like, yeah, no. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm not doing this.
Yes.
So I walked out, and I was like, shit, I have no home. I have no job. What am I going to do now? And I was like, so I was going crazy in my head. I was like, did I do the right thing? What am I going to do? And like the most comforting places sometimes are like those bars that feel like home.
Yes.
So I went to like a local bar that I usually used to go. And then bartender there, he was like, Gabby, oh my God, it's so great to see you. I was like, oh yeah, I'm back home, and he's like, oh, amazing. It's like, tonight's my last night bartending. I'm opening a restaurant in the Upper West Side, which is called the Milton.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Paul, do you know Paul?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so I talked to Paul, and he was like, I actually need help with people, if you know anyone. I was like, I know someone, me. I can help.
Yeah.
And he was like, great. So I helped open the Milton.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So you're like 2 steps from UES.
I know, yeah.
Wow. So all this
small circle, right?
Oh my God. And I can't believe you like that. I'm hearing this for the first time, but like, man, I remember the Milton and how excited like we were because the Milton was like upscale for our neighborhood and we were excited for that. Good food. And it's even still now, I'm not sure, what year did it open? It opened before UES, right?
20...
Or after
2015?
2015. We opened 2017.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so 10 years the Milton has been there.
Yeah.
And I mean, oh my gosh, my staff loves the Milton. They always go there afterwards. But like, I loved it as well because I lived on 89th and 2nd for 15 years.
Wow.
So I was an 89th girl
Yeah.
and there was like nothing up there. And then, my friend James, he had infirmary up there. I'm sure you remember infirmary. And then definitely Paul and the Milton and all the bars up there. And then I was like, well, I'm about to add to this boys club and here comes UES and all of our pink and all of our ice cream. But damn, baby. So you're an Upper East Sider.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So I opened
Cheers
the Milton.
to that.
Yeah,
I like
right?
that.
I know.
Now, see, this is why we get along. So a couple of Upper East Side galleries.
Cigar girlies, Upper East Side girly,
Oh my God, it's like looking in a mirror. Here we are. So
except I'm brunette. That's it.
Okay. Well, I am too. You just can't tell right this second, but deep down inside it's there. I love that. Okay.
So I stayed at the Milton for almost 2 years and a half. I was working with the guys, the chef there, David Diaz. He was one of the reasons that like I fell in love with food again.
Oh. Yeah.
Because he was so talented. Like the food at the Milton is so like comforting.
Yeah.
And like he put so much thought in every single thing that he did. And I just remember like always talking to him after work. And, he had like an amazing background. And I was like, oh my God, like I was always fascinated by like Michelin star restaurants. And I always asked him, I was like, how do you get in there? Like, what do I need to do to work at a Michelin star restaurant? And he's like, you just have to try. You just have to try. I don't know. I can't give you a secret sauce, but if you want to work in a Michelin restaurant, you just have to go for it. And I was like, yeah, totally. I will go for it. And I was like, yeah, no, I don't know if I'm good enough. But he always like tried to like push me to be like, you are amazing. Just fucking do it.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're like too small for this place.
Yeah.
You're like too small. You're too big. No, you're too big of a fish for here. Here is amazing. But you need to like go swim.
You need the ocean, not the pond. You need the ocean. Yeah, wow.
So when I made the decision to leave the Milton, it was really hard because like I love the owners there. It was like a family,
Yeah.
But I knew it was small. I mean, they couldn't give me benefits or anything like that. So I was like, okay, I don't really want to go, but I need to go. So I was part of this opening for a new Chinese restaurant called Da Dong. It was right on 42nd Street and by Bryant Park. It was supposed to be this huge opening. First restaurant from that company opening in the United States in New York. It was like this huge building, 3 floors. The first floor was like the lobby. You go in. The second floor was like the casual fine dining room. And then the third floor was like completely tasting room.
Oh.
Everything, saltos everywhere, all that kind of jazz. So I got hired to be a manager there, and I was like, yes, this is it.
Yeah.
This is my time. This is going to be it. I'm going to crush it. And it was really cool to be a part of like that opening, like our first month of training was like outside, just waiting for the restaurant to be finished with construction. So it was really, really like permanent, and like I was super excited about it. We opened our doors and we were not ready. The kitchen was not ready at all. It was like mainly an all Chinese kitchen with the executive chef that was the only one that spoke English and Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the front of house managers were all English speakers.
Mm-hmm.
There was one person that spoke Cantonese, but not enough.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a very like hard way to communicate with the kitchen if he wasn't there. The ingredients you cannot get in New York City or in the States. So like the Chinese community could be your best friends or your worst friends, you know.
I'm familiar.
Yes.
Yes.
So what happened when we opened is that everybody that came through our doors were comparing it to like, it's not the same as China, you know, like the tables are too small, this and that.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's like,
So you had a real Chinese audience coming. Oh, yeah. No,
yeah, they
no.
booked us through the whole first month. You
Wow.
were not able to book. It was all Chinese people.
And no one in the front of the house is speaking Chinese.
No.
No, that's wild.
Yeah,
Whoa.
wild.
Wow.
Talk about wild. Yes.
Yeah.
And, you know, everybody was like, yeah, the tables were not big enough. You know, the menu in China, I guess, is like 250 items.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like literally a picture book. It's a book like this with beautiful pictures and everything. We condensed our menu to 75 or so, which is still very big.
Heavy. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, no, they were like, no, it's not the same, doesn't taste the same, too small, this and that. So like bad. And we're like, oh my God, we're gonna get killed here. And then the critics came a month after.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, that New York Times review, we didn't even get a star.
Oh,
and I was just like, oh my God, this is crazy.
Well, I need a drink after that because, like, I know exactly what you're living through right now. I'm, like, listening to this and I'm like, I mean, obviously this isn't the past, but I'm, like, sweating listening to this shit because, like, I fucking know exactly what your life is like right now in that time period. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, we were crushed, obviously. The whole team was crushed.
Yep.
Surprise, not as much. I was like, at least I thought it probably would have gotten one, but it was not pretty. After the reviews, everything declined. And for an opening that was been waiting to open for 2 years, so we're already like losing money and like that space and everything. But on the other hand, it kind of was good for us because it allowed the non-Chinese community to like come so much. So now we can get like more like Midtown people coming in through the doors. Yeah. So it was like around spring or so when we opened the terrace as well, which was another massive space. And then more people were coming in. And then we're getting momentum again. But it wasn't enough momentum to keep it, you know. Especially the tasting room was the one that really felt it because it wasn't getting booked. So to the point that we're like maybe opening on the weekends, maybe not. We're really relying on the second floor and the terrace. The terrace had a lot of momentum, but it wasn't just enough, you know. So I started there as a manager. The beverage director got fired 2 months after, and I kind of just raised my hand. I was like, I want to grow. I have a lot of bar experience. And it's like, great. Do you want to be the bar director? I was like, sure.
Of course I do. Of course I do.
Yeah, of course.
Let
well,
me
you know,
learn
like,
some Chinese.
let me do it.
Yeah.
Let me do it. And it's like, it was a little hesitation at first, but they were like, okay, it's yours. And I was like, great. So I was able to turn it around a little bit. You know, I changed a lot of like our spirit list and everything that made more sense to the demographic that we were serving. Because we had a lot of beautiful boutique spirits, but the Midtown crowd doesn't really want that. No. The Midtown crowd wants a Tito's and soda. Yes. And maybe a black on the rocks. Yeah. You know, and it's like, we just need to change it up a little bit. And again, we had really good momentum, but, you know, then all the red flags started coming in. Things weren't getting paid. And I was just like, what is going on here? You know, and like my chef at that time, he was really honest with me. He just told me, he's like, hey, listen, we're going to close. Yeah. Is it going to happen tomorrow, in a week, or in a month? I don't know. But it's closing. It's going to happen. So it's like, I know you're great. You should leave now before you don't get paid anymore. So this is like a year after all this hard work. And I was just like, oh my God, again, here we go. It's like, I was super devastated. And that's when I took the break from managing. And I was like, okay, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it correctly. So I went to the NoMad. So I always had that fire in me that I wanted to learn and learn and learn and learn.
Girl, look, we gotta just take a pause here because, like, damn, when I hire for openings and you get that, first staff that kind of comes in, and I always say the same thing. I say openings are not for everyone.
No.
It is, you're going to war. You're going to war, and especially when you are a manager, you are leading your team into war. Everyone is coming for you. This is New York fucking City. You only get one shot to open up. You have to be so fucking prepared. And I am somebody that is so absolutely prepared for so many things, but that's just because I have, decades of experience. I did openings. I used to work for the Cheesecake Factory. We did openings. And so I know that it's just chaos all around. It's just chaos all around, and you just have to hold it together and get through that initial period. But I was also a consultant for many years, and I opened up a lot of places or helped open up a lot of places. And one of the most, the most commonalities of that was them not being prepared or not knowing their audience or not knowing where they opened. I opened up a club in Chelsea, and the guy that wanted to open didn't know a thing about a gay man, didn't even know where he was. Couldn't even name 5 businesses on the same block as him. And then just took it because it was like a cheaper deal and wanted to open this like ultra lounge, but then also wanted to be a sports bar. So we had TVs, but it was bottle service. But then maybe we should do karaoke. I'm like, bro, you don't know what you are. Yeah. You don't have a soul. You don't have a voice. You just want to get doors open, own a bar. And listening to you and talking, about what you went through and all the money that's spent. But then the very first thing as I'm listening to that, for them to not even be able to speak to the community that they're trying to open for, what an insult. Yeah. We are here in this podcast room in a building that's owned by a Chinese family and a family that owned it, built it, that's literally doing construction above. This was a Chinese restaurant when I came in. Their menu is also 100 pages long. Yeah. We think we know, you think you know Chinese, then you step into a real Chinese restaurant and it's got none of the cute little things, your sweet and sour, nonsense that you're used to. Like, they don't fuck around, and the Chinese don't fuck around. No. They are that's why they usually stay in their communities are very secular. Like the fact that I was even able to take this space, the owner's son was just taking over for the father and he knew about UES. And obviously, they've got their mortgages and things to pay. We never wish for him to go out. But I definitely knew coming in that there was going to be a Chinese community that we needed to pay our respects to. This is, again, a lot of Chinese art, a lot of Chinese things here. But so to hear you going through a Chinese opening where you've got nothing but Chinese coming because that's what you said you are and that's what you said to the world, this is what we're about to open, and then you don't have that, that's war, baby. Yeah. Okay, so you obviously went through this, but that was just another notch on your belt. It was just another bullet hole in your vest for you to become strong. But like you said, back to what you said about like this is something that was like inherent in you, is always wanting more, because I think we all fucking know that anyone in this industry, we're little nuts, right? Yeah. You have to be. There has to be this like fire or passion that like lives inside of you for you to want to do this. And when you were talking about, and you'll touch on that, I'm sure, as we move along, about being around people that are all passionate about it. When you get around those people, like I fucking love cocktails. I say it all the time. Like you're obviously, working for, the Danny Meyer. We're all very familiar that I've read his book, and he talks about farmers markets and shit, and like he's a fucking restaurateur. This guy's dreaming about tomatoes. Like all he wants to fucking do. This is not for me. I love to go to restaurants, but when it comes to cocktails, I am that same way. I want you to have a banging fucking cocktail. I want us to get real creative. I want us to try things. I want you, like I say, I always encourage everyone to drink outside of the box when they come to my properties. Like that's what I'm passionate about. And it's fucking frustrating as hell. It's a very difficult, unforgiving business with nothing but moving parts and bombs exploding. I always say, you're not a manager, you're not an owner, you're a firefighter. That's what your life is. You're just putting out one fire after another. So, like, give us our outfit and our badge, because here we are. But we do it because we love it. Yeah. We do it because we love it. So, after that war that you went through, now you are at the NoMad.
At the NoMad.
And you got that position. So this makes sense. So now how do we get to Clemente? Where do we go after the NoMad?
Okay, so I went to EMP.
Yeah.
Restarted all over again.
Yep.
And I went there, and I was terrified because I was like, okay, this is on a different level. You know, the NoMad was great. You know, had one Michelin, like very similar style, but EMP was intimidating as fuck. And, you know, the trails there, it's like pretty much you get interviewed by every single manager every 30 minutes. So you're not really like seeing too much service because you're getting pulled to the side every 30 minutes for like the 3 hours that you're there. And then I was bartending at a resort that following weekend, and I went to the bathroom. I checked my email. I get an offer letter from EMP.
Oh, shit.
As a kitchen server. And I was like, yes! Like, literally in the bathroom, just dancing. The most, like, exciting thing that I was like, yeah, a kitchen server at Madison Park. Like, why? Why was I so excited? I was super excited. So then a week after I started there, and I was just like, oh, my God. But it was also super, like, I was really depressed too, you know, because I was like really on my own. Everybody had like their cliques already.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
And at that time, it was 2019, so it was like 2 years after their number one. So it was very intense in there. Yeah. You know. It's like I don't know if I like fit in here, but I'm just gonna put my head down and just work. I don't really need to make friends here. I just wanna my work to show
who I am.
Yes. And that really paid off for me. You know, I like really, really like just study and like work hard and make sure I was there and doing the right thing. And like 2 months after, they trusted me to like, at this time, I don't know if you ever been to Madison Park during Christmas. But this is before pandemic. They don't do this anymore. During Christmas Day, Christmas month, all December, they used to preset all the tables as with Christmas presents. But the Christmas presents will be like your first course. So you'll either have like a caviar tin in one of the boxes, then you have napkin, your silverware. So you like unfolding presents while you're at the table, and it's your setup and your first course. So it's very challenging to do that on the kitchen side, because now you kind of have to know, okay, table this and this and that don't eat caviar, so we have to preset it with another thing. Right. This is table for 2, table for 5. So you have to have 2 expo passes. Yeah. So I did that. I did the expo pass for all the Christmas things. Yep. And I crushed it. So then I got promoted to expo.
And then Santa called you and was like, can you come work for me? Because, like, damn. Yeah.
So I crushed it, and then I got promoted to expo. And I was like, holy fucking shit. Like, expediting at this level is intense.
That's a serious job. You know? That's a serious fucking job.
You know, you're like there with the CDC and then like this amazing kitchen and like trying not to fuck it up. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. Because the chefs are responsible for the food, the runner, but it all falls on the expo. Yeah. If you don't time that shit fucking perfectly, it's your fault. If anything goes out cold, if it goes out to the wrong, because you are that last line of defense. Mm-hmm. You are the only thing that can fix any other error, so it ends up being your fault. Even if they gave you the wrong plate, even if the fucking server answered, it's you, baby. Oh, I know. Expo.
And the pacing and everything. It's like, where it's like, table 6 has been waiting for 20 minutes, and it's like, it's on my next pick. It's like, oh my God. And so it's like nightmares of like that little ticket machine. It's just like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. But I loved it. I was like, oh my God. I was like, I wanted to be the best at it. So yeah, it was an expo for the time until pandemic happened. And then pandemic happened, and I was like super crushed, because I was like, fuck. I was like, I've been doing so good, finally at a place that I can be. And then this happened. So obviously the pandemic happened. Didn't really know what was going to happen. I didn't know if EMP was going to reopen, at what capacity. So, you know, I was just waiting. I started working at the Odeon just to kill time during that. And then I kept in touch with the management there. And then when they decided to reopen, they called me to be a server there. And I was like, oh, fuck, I just skipped a few things. Okay, great.
Yeah, I'm here.
And it was only maybe 20% of the people that used to work there that came back. I was super stoked that I was, like, one of the few people that came back. And I was able to, like, teach the culture and, like, teach the ways of EMP, even though I wasn't there for that long. And I was like, this is amazing. And then, they changed it to being plant-based, which is a big challenge.
We're done with that now, though.
Almost done.
Almost
done.
Yes, almost done.
So I was there for a good 6 months after it reopened. But it was like, after the pandemic, there were so many opportunities to continue managing. And I was just like, I started dating my fiance now in 2020. So my life and my priorities became a little bit different. Like my life before was just work.
Yep.
And this is what I'm going to do. And it doesn't matter if I don't have a life. This is my goal.
Mm-hmm.
When I started dating him, like one of the things that he loved about me is that I'm super ambitious and I'm very like driver when I'm like, yes, that's what I'm going to do and I'm going to do it. So he loves us about me. He loved like the fact that I was just like in love with hospitality. But when I came back to EMP, he saw a side of me that he was like, okay, you just like live and breathe and go to sleep, and all you do is them.
Yeah.
And it's not us anymore.
Right. Yep.
And that kind of like stuck to me, I was like, fuck.
Girl, you're living every single one of my relationships right now. Fuck. All my exes are like, yeah, see? Yeah.
Well, I was like, yeah, but like, and it's like, but I told her to support you, it's like, I just want 5% of you.
Yeah.
If I can have it.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, of course you can have 5% of me. You should have at least 10.
Yeah. How nice of you. Yes, I like that.
At least 10. 10 should be fine.
Yeah.
I kind of like took the offers from like other places to continue managing. I was like, okay, I took enough of a break. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to be at EMP anymore, especially because I was just consumed by it. Then I get like the little texts and callbacks from the EMP side, and it's like, oh, we have a new project that we're gonna open. We'd love to chat and get coffee. Okay, let's chat and get coffee.
Yeah,
fine.
Sure, we could do that.
Sure. I was like, in what capacity do you want to chat and get coffee?
Yeah.
So they started talking to me about Clemente and all the things. So I was like really intrigued and really excited to come back and open something with the group that I was like, I left and like I just felt like that chapter wasn't closed yet.
Yeah.
And I know I was doing great at Chisiamo and at the group. And I know it was going to be challenging to leave it, but I was like, I have to do this for me.
Yep.
So when I decided to go and open Clemente, especially as a general manager, I was like, fuck, like I just completely skipped over the whole process here. And I'm like, now I'm like the GM for like this amazing cocktail bar. I was like, fuck, this feels great. And I loved it. I love my team. Like I love like the guys like Sebastian and Richie. They're like so talented and like all the creativity that comes through like the cocktails and like the food and the service. But I love hospitality, and like I make sure that the team that I was building is like, it needs to come through as real. I don't care if you don't know a little bit about wine or if you know more about this. I want you to be your own self and make sure that every single person that comes through these doors feel a warmth. It's like there's so many places in New York City that you can pick every night.
Yep.
And they pick here tonight to be here with us.
Yep.
So it's our responsibility for them to like be smiling after they leave. Not just the VIPs, not just important people. It's just like about every single person.
Every single
one.
one.
Like to me, the most beautiful thing is like I had like met this like couple that were like celebrating their 55th anniversary, and they were like the sweetest older couple on earth. Like the wife was just like, she was just amazing at everything, and she's just like at the end I just said hi, just wanted to see how they were. And she was just like, we like stood here in silence, just like watching everything. And I was watching every single one of your staff and you and everybody. And I'm just so like impressed how wonderful everyone is. And I was like, that made my day.
Yeah.
And I was like, what can I do that's going to make you happier? Yeah. And she's like, you can take a picture of me in the garden. And I was like, do you want to see the kitchen? She's like, yes.
Oh my
She's
God.
like, oh my God. It's like, let's go to the kitchen.
Wow.
So, that costs nothing for us. We show the kitchen to people multiple days, like every single day. But I knew it was going to be really special for her.
Yeah.
So I made her and like the husband go take a picture with all the chefs. And she was so happy. And I was like, this is why I do what I do every single day.
Yeah.
To feel that little happiness from people.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be,
It didn't cost anything.
No,
it's
and
just
I know
you
she
knowing.
might not come back, because she was here for like the weekend.
But she shows that picture to everyone. It's probably posted on her socials, and it's something that she will always remember that experience.
Yeah.
I just recently took my niece to Bowery Meat, and, I know Chef David over there, and he took her through, and she was so excited, just being in the kitchen. You feel like a VIP, just like walking back there. It's not where everybody gets to go. Everyone's back there with their white. It's behind the scenes, behind the curtains, and so it is, and like you said, it's free. It's just this gesture. It's knowing people and wanting to add to that experience. They walked away not just with a great meal, not just with a great drink or whatever they had, but this over the top, and this is why it's called hospitality. It's being hospitable. It's welcome to my home, and feeling that warmth, like you said, that coming through when you go to a house party or a host is hosting you. You want to feel that. You want to feel like I'm here not just to eat or drink, because we can just like eat or drink. We can go to the bodega and just like get a bacon, egg, and cheese, and we're done. We ate, but it's something completely different. It is, and the thing that's so powerful, I always say, about like food and drink, it's the only thing that brings like everyone together. And so why do you think you do love hospitality so much? Like you're from Argentina, you were raised in Long Island, you went to school in Long Island, you're a New York girl through and through, but like why do you think you love it so much?
Well, back when I was in Argentina, my mom is one of 13 kids.
Oh shit.
And she's from Uruguay. So I spent all my summers growing up going to my grandma's house in Uruguay, which was a farm. They had a farm with like the butcher right there, the bar in front of the house. I kind of always grew up in like my grandmother cooking, and my whole family's just like loving food and loving drinks. And that feeling always like stuck with me, One of my cousins, I have so many, but one of my closest cousins, he also has a restaurant in Argentina, right in the border of Argentina and Uruguay. That's been there for, I want to say maybe 25, 30 years or so. So I always remember like our first stop before crossing the border to go to Uruguay was stopping at his restaurant with him hosting, and just doing all the things. And I always loved it. I always loved the way that having a group of people, the right group of people around you with good food and like everything that comes with it, it's just a great memory, you know? So I don't know, that always like stuck to me. And honestly, I didn't even know that I was going to be in hospitality, honestly.
You never know. I'm 40 with a hospitality company. There's no way I came out the womb. You didn't come out the womb and be like, I'm going to
I know, I just like, I always loved food. Those dinners with my grandmother always like brought me the most joy. And like, I was just remember just cooking next to her and seeing the pictures of me like with a little like roller, covering flour. And it was like, those were like always the best memories. So when I really decided to go into hospitality, I always wanted to create some kind of memory for people. Especially, like, you just never know what people are going through.
Yep.
And I experienced it on, like, the guest side of, like, great bartenders that just, like, listen to me or, like, that were now my friends.
Or add to your experience. I say that all the time.
But even not even going out of their way to do anything, it's just the fact that they just listened.
Yeah.
Yep. And they were like, I got you, girl.
Yeah.
Just
dump it all right here. The world's psychiatrist is
the old school bartenders, especially from the pubs, are like the best ones.
There's no better fucking therapy than a couple shots of whiskey with your favorite bartender at some fucking dive bar where you're just like either crying at the bar or letting it all out and just taking a shot. You have a friend, you have a therapist, you have a family member, you have someone like to go through your shit with at that time. Like there's nothing that can be said for like that type of connection. Milton, which it goes back. So obviously we're obviously best friends. Like we didn't know it, but we know, because what you said hits home for me so hard, because my mom's side, my family's from Canada, but my grandmother had a farmland, like a ton of farmland in Canada, in a small town, Windsor, Ontario. And my mother would send me to Canada 3 months out of the year, like during summer session. And with my grandmother, we were on the tractor. We got the eggs from the chickens, which was my favorite. And my grandmother would, cook this amazing meal every single day. And we would walk to the shop for peach juice and ice cream. And then on my father's side, we're Syrian. And so, like, for me, great food. I always say, like, my dad is at the dinner table. He's made this incredible meal, the best hummus, the best tabbouleh, the best kibbeh, everything you've had. The music is playing. He's drinking a scotch.
Yeah.
His shirt's off. He's covered in hair. He's, singing and dancing. And then at the end of it, maybe he's on the chair belly dancing. But, like, that it brings you these memories, this food and drink. It is something that is so powerful. It connects you to your childhood, connects you to your family, it connects you to your significant other, your friends. It's so therapeutic. And I always say that life happens within these four walls. It's always, I'm from Vegas, and so only food and drink can bring all walks of life together. The doctor, the stripper, the hooker, it doesn't matter what. Everyone comes together to break bread. Everyone comes together to have that food and drink, and to have these conversations, to connect, to just catch up on shit. So it's very powerful. So, okay. So now, last questions. What's next for Gabby Sosa? What's on that goal list for you, babe?
I mean, it's definitely to own.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, I just want to keep growing with the company that I'm with. I think next 10 years, just to be realistic, I would like to go back to Argentina.
Okay.
And buy a farm.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Open up a bar or a restaurant. I'm going with you. What's the matter? Let's go.
Like I want to kind of do something like Blue Hill is doing.
Yes, that was exactly what I was thinking.
In that capacity.
Yes.
And, I think like Argentina, South America right now, it's in a scope right now that they're doing so many great things. In Peru, they're crushing it in the culinary side. And I think that, there's an opportunity there that I think with my experience in hospitality, just finding the right space, the right partners, just doing something really special. So that's my goal, just want to do something really, really special in Argentina. If I can do it in New York, sure. But I think there's a beauty in Argentina, and like there's so many things that can be great.
Yes.
Yes. And I want to be able to be like one of those people to like raise.
Yeah.
Like the level of like things that are there. I think there's more opportunity to be like the best.
The best. You take your New York experience, every bullet that you took into that, all the way back to the cigar bars and that toxic. It's always just like this learning, because that's what I did in my career. I worked for the greats in the nightclubs, in the industry. I've worked for some incredible and insane chefs and owners, and all of that was just, notches in my belt to be able to be an owner. And that's exactly what you're doing. And you're going to go back to Argentina with this insane experience with your New York flair, and you're going to fucking kill it. We're going to post this fucking episode, and we're going to find you the right team to do that. So like, everybody watch out, because we're going to that farm. So, okay. Last two things: restaurant that you haven't tried in New York City that you want to try, and bar you haven't tried in New York City that you want to try.
I actually never been to Blue Hill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We're going to make reservations. You and I are going. That's it.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Okay, and then bar you haven't been to that you have to go to.
Here.
I was going to say, I didn't want to say it. That's it. So we're going to make reservations at Blue Hill. And then we're going to come to Champagne Problems and just like fucking tear one off. But like, honestly, yes to both. I would love to go to Blue Hill. We're going to do it. And then maybe we'll have like a follow-up. We'll take like some camera and then like put it on here. So... Gabby Sosa, you are, I obviously told you, I met you only momentarily for 40 for 40. You made my birthday. I will remember you for the rest of my life, not just for 40 for 40, but now. But you made such an impact on me in such a short amount of time. Now we've spent, close to or over an hour together, and I am inspired by you all over again. I've been in this industry since I was 13. I'm 40 now. And when you get with someone that speaks that language or has that passion, you're like, yeah, I love it too. And yeah, we're all nuts. And oh my God, it was the worst time of my life. And yes, I wanted to cry every single day. But like, it's beautiful. You find someone that speaks your language. And I always say like attracts like. So obviously we're Upper East Side babes. We were like, grew up on a farm. Like, you know what I mean? Like we know our shit. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing your journey, which, you know, has only just begun. And I definitely know you will accomplish absolutely everything you want to do. 100%. I'm going to make sure that if I can help you do anything you want to do, that we're going to make it happen. And thank you for going through all of this and paying your story forward. And what you brought to the table lives inside of you, and wherever you go, it will go with you. And anyone is just lucky to be around you or near you. And I have no doubt that no matter what you do, you're going to be very successful. So cheers to you, Gabby Sosa. Yeah, baby. I can't wait till we're sipping on your farm, honey.
Yes.
Yes. Cheers.
Cheers.